Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Last Battle for Sega Genesis. We are now on Chapter 2, and sadly we are no longer in our powered up state because we just started a new chapter. That happens every time you start a new chapter. We still have the same amount of power in our power meter, we just aren't in a powered up state anymore, so we go back the way we were at the beginning of Chapter 1. Which I don't mind. We can always work back up to that power state, but anyway, we're still doing more of the same, punching enemies out, bringing that power meter back up a little more. Also, you can duck those projectiles. You just want to make sure they're clear over you before you get back to a standing position, or else you're going to get hit. When you fight this big ugly red guy, let him come close to you, wait for him to stop kicking, punch him again, and then move out of the way so that way you can kick the arrow away. The first one comes from the left, the second one comes from the right, and then it keeps alternating directions. So just watch out for those arrows. Also, we got a little bit of our health back, and instead of going to the right, we want to go to the left. We do want to go to the left before we go to the right, and it is for reasons that are very important, because this is very easy to miss. And if you do go to this area, you will make the game a little easier on yourself. Take revenge on behalf of my father! Gear's death was not in vain! Also, I spelled his name wrong! Strength has increased! Yes, by going to the left at first before going to the right, you actually increase your maximum health. You want to do this. Again, that is very easy to miss. And while yes, you do have to go through this area all over again, you won't have to fight that big ugly red guy, as well as deal with all those arrows again. Also, on the return trip, we are able to get buff again, which makes our attacks a lot better. I do want to be in a buff state so I can do a much better jump kick, because we will be facing a mid-boss momentarily. For now, let's just get some more power, try to survive here, and just make our way all the way to the end. Which is right now. Now we can take the upper path or the lower path. I'm going to take the upper path because it is easier. And because I want to show off all the screens too. Got a lot of these guys showing up. And before you take that third guy off the roof there, you don't want to take out that guy to the left. And it's a good thing I have that better jump kick now, so those guys that can throw projectiles at me, they won't have a chance. Also, I have a lot of points at this point. Just began Chapter 2 and I can already claim to have 100,000 points. That's not too bad. Also, pressing A and then quickly pressing the control pad in the direction you're not facing makes it easier to take on foes while you're in your buff state. You can punch one guy out, then you can turn around and punch the other guy out while you're still punching. And then we're going to go over here. There's nothing here at first. We will have to go through this place later though, and it will be a little different. But for now, we want to go all the way to this wall, where we will face our next major enemy, Duke. He has a deadly kick, a deadly punch, and the ability to jump in the air and throw a projectile downward to hit us. You want to trap him all the way on the right side of the area and just keep crouch kicking him, and when you get his health all the way down, punch him for the coup de grace, and you'll take him out and regain a little bit of your health. Be sure to not almost die like I did. That was terrible on my part. This is not yet the time for you to die! And we increase our defensive power as well, so you get to take a little less damage from enemies. And now it's time to come back from whence we came, with our 60 defensive points. But it's not going to be that simple, because on the way back, it's going to be a labyrinth. Definitely want to go through the first doorway you see to refill some of your life, because we're definitely going to need it. Although when we complete this section, our life will be completely refilled. It's a good thing we got that Ease in a Myth strength increase to increase our maximum health, because we're going to have a lot of health at the end of this chapter. And there's not a lot of doorways you can go to fight more enemies, which is a shame. I would like to feel secure with a lot more health. Anyway, when you drop down here, you want to go to the left. The right is going to take you straight to a dead end. And I kind of messed up the timing of those ceiling spikes there, so that's why I just ran into one all of a sudden. Also, by holding up and jump, then quickly jumping in the direction you want to go, you'll do a slightly longer jump in the direction you want to go. I believe you can also do it by holding the kick button, which is B, and then pressing C, but I just find it easier to just do that. Anyway, by dropping down here, we find another doorway we can't enter, and then we have to dodge more ceiling spikes. And now we have to jump over here and go to the right, taking care of the throwing axes that we run into. And we should be nearing another hole soon. There it is. And down here is another doorway, and this time we can go into it. Let's take out some guys, then try to avoid the arrows. Sometimes you'll have to jump to do this, sometimes you won't. Also, the ability to hold the kick button down just before you jump as a shortcut to doing larger jumps, that only works in the labyrinth. Also, the game and the manual does not tell you that you can do this. Anyway, we're nearing the end of this area. There is an opening up top, if you already couldn't tell. But if you go to it, it leads to a dead end, and you can't enter this doorway, and this fire will keep hurting you as long as you just keep standing there. And of course, if you go left from here, you'll reach a dead end anyway. So we had to go to the right the entire time. Thankfully, it's just as easy to feel your way through this labyrinth as much as it was to do it in the first chapter. And there's always the reward of full health whenever you get through a labyrinth anyway. So that definitely helps. For now, let's just go ahead and take care of all these throwing axes. And then try to make our way to whatever opening we can find on the right end of this hallway. We shouldn't be too far now. There it is. And of course we have no choice but to go left. All these times where I'm messing around kicking at nothing, that's me trying to do that jump that I just mentioned. That little jump shortcut. You're better off just pressing up and C and then quickly moving the directional pad in whatever direction you want to jump, to be honest. And you want to go left here until you reach this wall, and you want to jump into the ceiling and continue to go left, kicking down all these rocks as you go. And from here, you want to go to the left. try to do to jump again, but sadly I cannot. And we should be nearing the end of this area. All we gotta do is just kind of keep all these rocks out of our way. We will start seeing bouncing rocks in this labyrinth. And if you see one bounce, you're better off just jumping over it completely. Don't even try to attack it like I keep doing here. Just jump over them, and you'll just jump clear straight over them. It won't be long until you reach the end of this section, where you'll meet Sophia, Alyssa's mother. She'll ask why only her daughter was carried away. And Arzak says, "As long as I am here, Alyssa will never die." Or not die, rather. And of course we get all of our health refilled, which is a great thing. Now we're going to take the lore path that we skipped on the way to Duke. And we will be going to the left, which kind of takes me off guard a little bit. But on the lower path, you meet an enemy that you wouldn't have met anywhere else in the chapter, which are these guys on the motorcycles. I got lucky punching that guy off of his bike. You're really supposed to hit them with a jump kick while you're in your beefed up form. And if you can time it right, you can actually kick the bike instead of the biker and have the bike explode. Which I've done in several runs of this stage, but sadly not in this recording. We have a lot more health than we did at basically any other point in the game. And it's good to have all this life, so in case the enemies give us a hard time, we won't have much of a hard time against any future bosses, which is a really good thing. And we have finally reached the end of this area. We have quite a bit of life here, which is great. And by entering this area, we are going to enter the final area of Chapter 2, which is this dock. You want to watch the background for any shimmers that pop up in the background. Those are harpoons that will come right at you from the background. Also, if you see any harpoon guns, you want to take them out immediately so that they don't shoot at you. Also, watch out for harpoons that come out from the right side. Thankfully, at this point in the game, they won't do a lot of damage. Though they can still take you by surprise if you're not careful. And thankfully I was able to move past all three of those things. And by reaching the end of the dock here, we reach the end of Chapter 2, and Chapter 3 begins. Join me next time for Chapter 3. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!